After the events of Blood Hunt, Blade has a lot of things to work through. Let's talk about that. Hello, everyone. Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be going through Blade, the Red Band issues 1 through 5. Blade is back, and this time, Marvel isn't holding anything back. They deliver exactly what this title promises: blood, grit, and pure vampire slaying chaos, all wrapped up in a sleek, ultra violent package, reminding you why Blade is one of the most iconic anti heroes in the Marvel Universe. This series comes from writer Brian Hill, with art by Valentino Landro, colors by Yun Chung, and letters by Corey Petit, and it is published under the Marvel Red Band label. That's the imprint that allows creators to really push the boundaries with mature content. They come in the little poly bag with the red band on top, so you know exactly what you're getting into. Uh, and from you can tell from page one, this is Blade fully unleashed. Now, the story itself is pretty straightforward, and I think that's part of his charm. Hill isn't trying to reinvent the wheel here. He's really trying to reestablish Blade's place in the Marvel Universe, especially after the events of Blood Hunt, where he was possessed by that ancient demonic, ancient vampiric entity. We find Blade once again on the hunt, navigating a violent underworld of vampire cults and supernatural politics. It's lean, it's mean, it moves fast, and a throwback to those 90s style action horror stories, but with a more modern polish and a really, really interesting pacing. As the series unfolds, Blade confronts a growing supernatural threat that ties into ancient vampire lore, but it's less about the mythology and more about the man itself. Who is he when the hunt never stops? Hill's writing keeps the focus on Blade's discipline, his solitude, and the razor thin line between hero and monster. Now, the plot itself doesn't quite reach some epic heights that it teases, but there are moments where I think it feels like the story just really could have gone a little bit deeper. This might have to do with only having, a limited number of issues in this series. Now, especially when they could have explored Blade's psyche, his place in the world that doesn't really welcome him anymore because he even though he was possessed, he betrayed everyone. I think the setup hints at bigger ideas, but you can tell this could have been a little. It could be there could be something more, and the series definitely left me wanting to read more. It almost feels like the first act of a longer arc for Blade. All that being said, here's what really works. Hill knows how to keep the tension tight, the dialogue sharp, and the action absolutely brutal. The art is one of the things that truly brings us to life. Landor's artwork is dynamic, it's gritty, of course, it's full of blood splattering reds. It feels like you can hear the sword slicing through the crack of a bone. There's a sense of motion in every panel. Every fight has that cinematic and deliberate feel to it, and the violence really lives up to the Red Band label. It's not gratuitous, but it is unflinching. When Blade cuts loose, you really, really feel it. The colors by Ying Chung add so much to that intensity, drenching the book in these deep reds, the dark shadows. The palette is very moody, it's atmospheric, creating a world where everything just feels a little bit cursed. The blood just pops off the page, but you can also see in the quieter moments when Blade's surrounded by darkness, you can feel his isolation, all the trouble that's going on in his head. Altogether, I think Blade Red Band does what it sets out to do: reassert Blade as the Marvel Universe's ultimate Night Stalker. It's fun and it's unapologetically violent. So make sure it makes sure that even though it's not the most layered story, but as a reintroduction to the character, as a first step in Marvel's Red Band line to bring him back into the forefront, I think it absolutely hits the mark. It's the kind of comic that reminds you that Blade doesn't really talk much. He just needs to swing his sword and let the blood hit the floor. You can pick issues of Blade Red Band 1 through 5 available now at your local comic shop. I think these are harder to read digitally. I'm not very. I'm. It's always a struggle with the red band issues. Sometimes they're available digitally, sometimes they're not. But there should be a collection of this in the future. And if you're a fan of the Midnight Suns, Moon Knight, or Ghost Rider, I think this is definitely one checking out because it fits right into that dark corner of Marvel's supernatural world. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Blade Red Band lived up to the Red Band promise? Would you like to see Marvel push this further with other heroes in this mature style? And who would you want to see Blade team up with next? Or maybe who they should go up against? Also, let me know your thoughts on this book. And if you enjoyed this review, do not forget to hit like, subscribe, turn your notifications on. I got more deep comic book dives and a lot of reviews coming soon. So until next time, keep your steak sharp, your playlist ready, because Blade always moves to his own beat. So thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.